Jeff, let's assume hypothetically she gets out tomorrow. Ted doesn't think she will, but let's say that she does. Now what?
Well, if she gets out tomorrow, they have the home confinement, so I guess she's stuck in the home, and I don't understand why you need a $500,000 bond if you have the home confinement. I mean, one of the two would seem to work, but she's in the home. I guess she's just going to be hanging out, and according to her lawyer, she's not supposed to talk to anybody. I don't know whether that's going to happen, because it just seems to me that most defendants sometimes just want to get out and talk. So, and if she chooses to talk to people, she can do that, even if her attorney told her not to. Happens all the time. But I guess she'll just be hanging out in her house.
Gloria, probably the worst thing that the worst nightmare for her lawyer is that she starts talking. How do you keep a client from talking?
Well, exactly. And Greta, maybe her lawyer watched the show, your show last night, where we all talked about the fact that how dangerous is that for her to be in her own home, guarded by a bondsman or a bounty hunter, and who thinks that he's going to get her to tell him something about Kaylee. So it's good that he's advised her not to talk to anyone about whatever she knows. From her point of view, that's good. Of course, from Kaylee's point of view, it's really not so good. But again, you also have her parents who are living in the home, and her parents now are represented by someone who sells story rights and produces movies and books. And so, you know, he's their spokesperson. Maybe the parents are going to want to know, you know, information from her, too, even though they have good intentions and want to find Kaylee. This is not a good situation for her.
Janine, you were a prosecutor for a number of years. Isn't this actually a good thing for the prosecutor that she's getting out?
Oh, without a doubt, because, you know, whether her lawyer tells her don't talk to Padilla or her bodyguard or her parents, the bottom line is she is going to say something. Now, rest assured that given this woman's history, I believe she's a pathological liar. I don't think she cares one iota about her daughter. I think that what she's going to try to do is try to do something to make sure that her tracks are covered. Do or say something. And I think, well, she may or may not be. You know.
She's going to want to go out clubbing. She's going to sneak out. I don't know, something. I mean, I don't know, but she's got to. Ted, you don't think she's getting out? Do you want? I mean, if she does, you're going to buy all of us dinner?
Well, I won't buy you all dinner. I can't afford to do that. Not on Jeff's salary.
Especially Jeff's got a big appetite.
But I do believe that even if she gets out, and I watched your interview of Padilla earlier tonight, he said he may or may not go over to the home. If he goes over to that home, he learns something. I can unequivocally tell you that he himself may find himself before a grand jury, or he could put himself in some...
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. This guy, Padilla, is going in front of the grand jury, whether it's for the prosecution or at the trial for the defense.
And we got to go, but he would be going there not because he's in trouble, but because he would be a witness. Anyway, panel, thank you. As we've been telling you now throughout the